Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. It's a pleasure to have you here. So next year, when we give this speech again, this is actually the second year that it's been in the State Theater. Last year, we gave it 3 times, and we had a handful of people at each event. Today, we had a breakfast, which about 50 people were at the breakfast, and we're privileged to have you all with us this evening. So next year, invite more of your friends so we can fill the place up. So it would be really nice to know that the community comes out to hear what's going on with their city. Once a year, we have the opportunity and the privilege to have the Samuel Norris Award. And before I actually call Councilmember Art Hatley up, though, I'm going to ask that we do the Pledge of Allegiance. And normally in the city council meetings, I ask any of the kids if they would like to stand up with me and give the pledge. So are there any kids in the audience? Maybe we could put the lights up, and I'll come stand down there with you because I don't want you to come up here on stage. And anybody that wants to, anybody that wants to come up here on stage with me to say the Pledge of Allegiance, be careful coming up the stairs, come on up. This is probably one of my favorite things to do. Let's stand over here, a little bit farther. And at City Council, I invite the kids up to help with the Pledge of Allegiance because I think it's important, number one, and number two, it gives them a taste of civic responsibility and civic duty. So, and then afterwards, I hand them the microphone so they can say a little bit of something about themselves and what they want to do when they grow up. There, I see a couple more kids out there. You sure you don't want to come up here? You sure? Anybody else? Oh, there's a big kid over there. April, you don't count. So, all right. Okay, so all of you know how to say the pledge, right? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to let you hold this microphone. So we need to say, and there's the flag, so let's all turn towards the flag. Oh, look, come here. Here's another one, right here. I'm not going to let you know that a couple of these happen to be my grandkids. They surprised me tonight. Okay, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. So you want to start with your name.
Okay.
And tell me a little bit about yourself and what you want to maybe be when you grow up.
Okay.
Okay.
So do I just...
Yeah, say it in that microphone.
Okay. Hello, my name is Leanna. I am 9 years old and I play basketball, Girls on the Run, and Girl Scouts. And what I want to be when I grow up is either a scientist or an astronaut.
Awesome. Whoops, sorry, baby.
Hello, my name is Elijah. When I grow up, I would like to be a veterinarian.
Say, my name is Avalie. Say, my name is Avalie. My name is Avalie. Oh, do you know what you want to be when you grow up? No? Do you want to be a troll? Yeah. It's okay. Okay.
My name is Emma. I want to be a
Wait, let's stand over here so somebody can take a picture. There you go. There you go.
My name is Emma, and I want to be a veterinarian when I grow up. I'm a Girl Scout, and yeah.
Thank you. Okay, come stand by me. Come right over here. Don't be nervous. I used to be nervous. Do I look nervous now?
No.
Okay, so you can be like me.
My name is Penelope, and I want to be a singer when I grow up, and I'm in Girl Scouts.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Everybody, let's walk down the stairs really carefully. Be careful. How's that, right? That's just the best. So getting back to one of the main events this evening is the Samuel Norris Award. And this year I've actually asked Councilmember Art Hatley to come up and give the presentation because of his connection with the family. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Art Hatley.
Good evening. Can you hear this now? Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. It was a great honor for me to nominate Stu for this award. I've had many conversations with Stu over a lot of years that I've known him, and no matter what subject we started out talking about, we never ever parted ways without talking about the veterans and the Veterans Memorial Park. That was just something that Stu always did. Stu was a remarkable person. It's easy to find fault in people, but somehow Stu always seemed to find the good in everyone. Now, if you think about that statement, remember this. He knew me, Bill Conley, and Mike Ramsey. So that was quite a feat for him. I don't know that our mothers could pass that test, but Stu always seemed to find something good about us. Stu is a man of honor, commitment, loyalty, and dedication. He worked tirelessly for the veterans and the memorial that is now down on Montgomery Street. So anytime that you ever think that you're missing or want to be closer to Stu, all you have to do is go down there and step on that property. That's all you have to do. I guarantee you, Stu Shaner's there. The most important reasons, and there were many, but the most important reasons when I really got to thinking about it is why I wanted to nominate Stu for this was because of his love of God, family, country, and community. He never wavered in his values or his commitments, ever. He worked every day to complete a project for his beloved veterans. At some point, it had to be, and I don't know when it was, but it just had to be, that Stu met Merle Haggard. And the reason I say that is because Merle Haggard wrote a song, and it was called Walking on the Fighting Side of Me. Now, the chorus to that song is this: walking on the fighting side of me, running down the way of life our fighting men have fought and died to keep. If you don't love it, leave it. Let the song I'm singing be a warning. If you're running down my country, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me. And that chorus fits Stu Shaner right to the ground. No truer statement could be made about the way Stu felt about his country, community, and the veterans. Stu Shaner, from the red blood that surged through his veins, to the white hair on his head, to the blue-collar roots, Stu Shaner was, is, and always will be a true champion of this great country and of veterans. And it's a real honor to be here for him to get this award tonight. At this time, I'd like to invite Lynn, Jeff, and Paula, if you would come to the stage, please. Lynn, as I said before, this is such a great honor for me. Again, I've known, of course, Stu a long time, and so, again, I'm so privileged to be here. This is the Samuel Norris Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of Paul Stewart Stu Shaner for contributing significant lifetime achievements toward improving the quality of life in the city of Oroville, 2017. And I'd like to present this to you and your family. And again, would somebody like to say a few words?
I'd just like to say thank you. You really loved Oroville. That's about all I can say right now.
You bet. Thank you so much for being here.
I got it. That certainly was touching. I know Stu has done amazing things for this community, so thank you. Thank you, Stu, and thank you for the family, to the family. Thank you. We're ready for the state of the city, and I've got my pencil. And I appreciate everybody coming this evening. Once again, I am humbled and grateful for the opportunity to address our community and give the State of the City address. Last year, I stated that I was a list maker, and I had at least 6 pages of things that I wanted to cover. All important, all worthy of standalone conversation. However, with time constraints, it is not possible to cover all the topics. This year, I had at least 10 pages. Some were continued accomplishments, some were continued setbacks, but most importantly was the continued vision to move our community forward, remembering the past, working to better the present, and preparing for the future. I heard a story the other day from my old pastor in Las Vegas, California. He said, the story as the story goes, it was a father taking his young daughter on an outing. He decided to take his daughter to Catalina Island. She had never been out on the ocean before, and to get to Catalina, you'd have to ride a boat. Well, it was one of those beautiful, sunny California days, and once they got on the boat, the little girl was looking out across the water, the expanse of open water, and suddenly she grabbed her father's hand and said, "Daddy, I can look farther than my eyes can see." I thought, wow, I wish everybody could say that. I can look farther than my eyes can see. If you've ever been on the open ocean and look out towards the horizon, you can only see about 25 miles. To see beyond that, you have to have vision. Oroville's vision statement. The city of Oroville will be a vibrant and thriving community with strong economic, recreational, and cultural opportunities where you can live, work, and play all in a day. At the city, we are trying very hard to keep true to our vision. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't, but we keep trying every day. Changes that have taken place over the past several years, not only in the state, but the federal government as well, have created many challenges for our community. We have had to face these challenges like a ship in a storm. while trying to keep our eyes on the horizon. At times, it has been difficult. Many times, we have had to look farther than our eyes could see. I'm going to deal with some of the difficult issues right up front. We have struggled with the structural budget issues for years. In 2012, we had a $2.1 million deficit, and the city had to make difficult decisions. We laid off several city employees, including department heads. Many departments continue to work with skeleton crews, even although we have made many cuts and sacrifices, we still have not seen the revenue needed to balance the budget without continued cutbacks. We have had to put a freeze on hiring and expenditures, which limit our abilities to get things done in a timely manner. While Chief Lagrone is doing his best to stay on top of the ever-changing state and federal policies, we still face a shortage of programs, housing, or jail space to alleviate the issues. Quality service takes quality funding, and we are short on money. We had a tax increase measure on the ballot last November to help with the city revenue to supplement the public safety department, and it failed. Now we are in the process of regrouping and having to make tough decisions again. I applaud all the efforts that went into this measure. It took many people putting in personal man-hours to champion this cause. However, the staff always seems to remember our vision statement. But it does take more than vision to make things happen, and it takes goal setting and action plans. It takes skill and resources. It takes incentives and rewards. When any of those factors are missing, it creates issues. The slide on the screen is an example of what can happen when one of the factors is missing. We have a vision and we have an action plan. We have set goals. But as you can look at the slide, we're missing the three center factors. Without resources or revenue, we cannot hire skilled staff necessary to achieve all of our goals, which can lead to anxiety and frustration community-wide. Anxiety and frustration can be overwhelming when all you want to do is make a difference in the community. So at this moment, I would like to acknowledge all the city employees, including the police and fire, public works, parks and trees, finance, planning, housing and business assistance, and the entire administration team for all their dedication and hard work during these trying times. Thank you for not giving up or giving in when the horizon is barely visible. Normally, I review accomplishments from the previous year, but this year I have decided to go back farther. I think it is a good reflection on just how far we have come and how much we have accomplished in the past several years, even when times have been tough. Many of our successful goals are long-standing and have been around for several election cycles. Even with a multi-year economic downturn, Oroville has had its share of accomplishments. Starting within the city, we have accomplished many things that often go unnoticed, but are crucial to the future development of our community. Some of these items have not been addressed in over 30 years. Think about it. 30 years ago, the internet was just starting. By combining departments and streamlining processes, we have increased efficiency throughout most departments, and we were continuing to work on this citywide. Over the past few years, the team at City Hall has managed to update and adopt the 2030 General Plan, the Sphere of Influence, and the Zoning Code. They've put together an urban greening plan, an urban forest management plan, recodification of the municipal code, climate action plan, and prepare several annexation packages, including preparing, attending meetings, negotiating, and following through to completion not only all of the above, but the annexation of South Oroville. In 2015, Don Rust, acting supervisor among many other hats he wears these days, along with City Council member Jack Berry, attended the United States EPA Annual Conference in Chicago, Illinois. Upon their return, Don Rust and his team created the 2016 Rural Sustainability Community Strategy. That's a lot of words. This 20-page document is based on Oroville's history, previous projects and documents, the need to develop additional properties and projects, and outlines funding opportunities available from the state and federal governments. This document has been sent to various entities within the government, including the President of the United States. I have personally delivered it to many departments in Sacramento, and it has been a topic of many conversations in several meetings near and far. It will serve as a model for years to come and to help us achieve our vision. Actually, this morning when I was giving this speech, one of the representatives from Congressman LaMalfa's office was talking about this document and some of the funding that's available on a couple of the projects, and it was actually circulated around Gallagher's office again just recently. Back on point. We continue to recover from the dissolution of RDA and the successor agency. We are in the process of divesting properties, which many of them have been purchased by local community members, and you can see some of the examples right here in the downtown. The City of Oroville has also received nearly $6 million in grant funding since January 2011. The funding has been used to add improvements at the airport, updating the facilities, the runway and taxiways, on our public right-of-ways to improve the safety of our streets, safe routes to school, brownfields assessment and cleanup, and help in business assistance and housing. We have also spent the better part of 3 years updating our software. Last year, it was near completion. This year, however, the financial data is available for all to see on our website. This is monumental. Ruth Wright and her team, including the IT department, have done an outstanding job working with the software provider to get new software up and running. We now hope to free up the employees' times to be cross-trained in other departments to better utilize everyone's talent. By having all of our documents in a row, it cues us up to be at the top of many lists because we're prepared. Having all the major plans done or updated has allowed us to streamline many projects and ensure development will go smoothly. And what we've accomplished on the inside is reflecting on the outside. Starting with the Super Walmart Center. After 10 years of litigation, it will be opening this spring. But more importantly, this center allows the repurposing of the current location. This area will see at least 5 to 7 new businesses. New businesses equal new jobs. Oroville Ford made its debut on Oro Dam Boulevard. Now Oroville Chevy and Toyota are adding a facelift with additional jobs. Starbucks and Panda Express have landed in our community, stating that it was the largest grand opening in the North State, including all but 5 stores in the Sacramento region. What that says to me, and that we are correct to assume, that many people will exit off of Highway 70 to visit. Someday they might stay, and we need to be prepared when they do so. Other projects include the Orange Tree Senior Housing, Rio del Oro Subdivision, and the Bluffs Project. Orange Tree is an asset to our senior community, housing 49 seniors and continues to have a waiting list. The Bluffs Project has been on the books since the 1980s, and it's had many setbacks along the way. I'm happy to say that this project will soon be an example of what a long-term vision and planning can produce. The Rio del Oro Master Plan community is also moving forward. All total, the last 2 projects will bring well over 2,000 homes to our area. Housing is a much-needed element in Oroville, especially mid-range housing, and both these projects will dramatically improve our housing market. However, some of the most exciting development is happening right here in the downtown. How many of you actually thought that you would ever see the reopening of the Oroville Inn? Right? Right? Now it's called, see, I wish I had lights on you guys now because I made the morning crew raise their hands, and I was the only one that raised my hand. One other person, I think, but so it is now called home to more than 100 men and women that attend the Northwest Lineman College. And speaking of the Lineman College, they have also recently moved their offices to the downtown area, so kudos to them. Or how about all that love going on the corner on Montgomery and Myers? How many of you thought that that building would be purchased and restored? Or the State Theater? I'm truly amazed to see all of the progress that's been made in just a few short years. The vibrancy of our quaint, eclectic downtown is exciting and infectious. I can't wait to see what's to come in the future. All of these people, our local citizens, had a vision, seeing further than their eyes could look. They continue to find the horizon. A vibrant, growing downtown, new businesses, and an increase in housing are all positive signs. Opportunities for family to own a home locally will increase the desire for companies to consider Oroville as their destination, to either locate a new business or expand an existing one. Many companies look at available housing as an indicator. Is there housing available to create a workforce? With housing opportunities on the horizon, companies will take notice. A vibrant, growing downtown, new businesses, and an increase in housing are all positive signs. All of this is also known as economic development. And economic development doesn't just happen. You have to go find it. What is economic development? It's often categorized into 3 major areas: government, working on big economic objectives; programs that provide infrastructure and services; and job creation and retention. The final one is where the city comes in. If we want companies to take notice, if we are going to compete with other communities for good, sustainable jobs, we have to stay on top of economic development. That means attending conferences to collaborate and work with others to gain innovative ideas, even during difficult times. Conferences are not just a price tag. They are where relationships are developed and deals are made. Being present where deals are made and not waiting for them to come to us is important, especially when we are competing as a rural community. We have to put our face in front of theirs. Being prepared and staying on top of what other communities are doing to attract good industry and promote healthy growth is what we are trying to accomplish at City Hall. I mentioned several companies earlier, and each of those companies have brought several hundred jobs to Oroville. Each one of those companies landed in Oroville because we put our face in front of theirs, not just once, but several times. Another one of those companies is GPI, Graphic Packaging International. The city has been working through many difficult issues to retain GPI in Oroville. Dealing with the Federal Aviation Authority and other land issues for several years, GPI will finally be expanding. It took the public and private partnerships, government interaction, and a lot of hard work, but we accomplished it. We put our face in front of the Federal Aviation Authority and GPI until they said yes. Their expansion will create an additional 60 to 80 good-paying jobs, or even as high as 200 more. We will continue to look for ways to incentivize new businesses to open or existing businesses to expand. With your support in our efforts to move forward with smart and sustainable growth, we will continue to create good jobs, not only for our kids today, but our grandkids tomorrow. Even though we know the horizon is out there, and sometimes it's difficult to see, we still have a vision for Oroville's future. So, we will continue to fight for what's right and improve our community. The deteriorating infrastructure of our telephone service is one of those battles. Many of our residents rely on the use of a landline, which uses copper wires. Many of our commercial customers have to get their internet service via inadequate wiring. AT&T is responsible for the maintenance and repair of the infrastructure, and they have all but abandoned the upkeep in our community. We recently sent another letter to AT&T, and this time have been in communication with the CPUC, the California Public Utilities Commission. I actually just received another call from them today. Last year, I spoke publicly about this issue and will continue to do so until we get our infrastructure fixed. For years, our city has had to deal with phone outages during rainy season and phone service being out for hours, if not days. I made a call to Catalyst for someone that was in need, only to find that their phones were not working because of the rain. Our own police department continues to be affected. The airport business park loses phone and internet service. Our downtown businesses have to close because they cannot run credit cards for lunch or dinner, or receive phone calls, and the list goes on and on. We will continue to put AT&T and Comcast on notice until we have quality services. The standard answer for these companies can be paraphrased: rural communities don't give the best return on their investment. I say our kids, our businesses, our community deserves exactly what everyone else gets. I plan to stay on top of this issue until each and every one of our children has access to quality, affordable internet. Each business has quality services, and our public safety is not compromised. It's time to make our voices heard. I'm requesting that any business that has any telecommunication issues to put it in writing on your letterhead, and I will personally deliver it to the California Public Utilities Commission. Please see me after if you want to get involved. Water. Thank God for the rain. How many of you have gone to visit the spillway? Yeah. It's a beautiful sight. It even gets national news when it happens. Many of us live in parts of the community where water is abundant and rates are low, but many of us don't. This issue with Cal Water and the rates is hard for our community. The topic continues, and it will be back at City Council, and I encourage you to get involved, even if it's not your water district. It is an important issue for our community, and we're hoping to find a resolution that will benefit everyone. Speaking of water and keeping our eyes on the horizon, let me end on a big wave. The long-awaited biological opinion has been issued, which allows for the relicensing of the Oroville Dam. I know some people might say that FERC is short on directors and the license won't happen again for a long time, but I like to think that it will. What does this mean for Oroville? DWR will be spending close to $1 billion in our backyard. The settlement fund will start to receive $1 million a year to enhance recreation along the low-flow channel. My vision is that we look farther than our eyes can see. Because this is going to be a 40 to 50-year project, it will outlive many of us. I suggest that we look at remodeling the settlement agreement and work with DWR in an approach similar to a national park. Lee Valley Park did something very similar in their region of the world. Lee Valley Park is in the United Kingdom, and it has a framework available for long-term projects such as this. Our community, with the infusion of over $1 billion over the next 50 years, would benefit from a professional team working together with all the entities. Right now, it's in the hands of many separate entities. The City of Oroville and the Feather River Park District oversee the Supplemental Benefit Fund and make decisions for the settlement agreement independent of DWR, Department of Water Resources. And our seats can change as often as the election cycles, removing any consistency for long-term vision. And DWR works on their requirements independent of our input by implementing a professional framework that works with all entities. We can ensure that the long-awaited vision that has been promised will be fulfilled. In closing, as for the state of our city, well, I think we're doing okay. We could do better. Even though we know the horizon is out there, and sometimes it's difficult to see, we still have a vision. Yes, we need improvements in some area, but if we look farther than our eyes can see, we can overcome any obstacle that comes our way. And again, always, I'm grateful for the privilege to serve as your mayor, and thank you for coming this evening. In the back, there's actually some brochures, and if anybody has any questions or comments, there are forms that you can fill out and the staff can get back to you. I'll be around for a little bit. There's also some council members I know that are here that would probably stick around to answer any questions that you might have. And of course, if we can't answer them on the spot, we'll certainly take down that information and take it back to the city. Thank you for coming. Thanks to the Shaner family, and thank you.